All right, guys, we're gonna get right into it, man. So, the another lie of the Trump administration here, man. The JFK files were released. Same documents that were released in 1992 over an order by Congress to release some form of documentation to the public. These are the same files. A lot of information was redacted. 80%. They're saying about 30% of the actual documents weren't released, and you guessed it. A lot of those documents had, things stating direct involvement with a specific entity in the Middle East and certain people that had strong ties to those people. Um, and they had a lot of different excerpts in the, documentation that was the memorandums that were released that showed that there was like this huge connection between the Israelis and the Central Intelligence Agency, and there was a rogue element in the CIA that formed this connection with some guy that was an Israeli citizen, and we know the whole jazz. So um, nothing was released to show any of these people, anyone was involved. A lot of stuff was blocked off. There was some stuff that was censored, and they actually like crossed shit out. So it was a whole fluke here, man. Um, let's get into this clip. Let's get into this clip right here, man. Which I found interesting was the most popular movie about the JFK assassination was actually a guy that worked for the Mossad. So check this out.
He spent years as an Israeli secret agent and arms dealer. In a stunning interview that aired Monday on an Israeli investigative program, Milchan detailed how he was recruited in the 1960s to Israel's Bureau of Scientific Relations, where he helped gather technology to further Israel's still unacknowledged nuclear program, saying, quote, "I did it for my country and I'm proud of it."
How much more proof do we fucking need? An Israeli spy funded the most popular movie on the assassination of a former U.S. president. And there was zero links to Israel in that movie. I wonder why. Holy shit. But then people try to write me off as a crazy conspiracy theorist. What the fuck, man? It doesn't get any more crazy than that. Can you guys see why now I'm so skeptical when they said that they're gonna fucking declassify the JFK files? If I don't see the Israeli connection in these declassified documents, it is all cap. It is all cap. Dude went on Israeli television and admitted that he's a spy, and he did it for his country. 99% of Americans don't know this. They don't know this. That the biggest JFK film in American history by Oliver Stone was funded by an Israeli spy.
End completely. Milchan indicated other big Hollywood players were also involved, saying, quote, "When I came to Hollywood, I detached myself completely from my physical activities to dedicate myself to what I really wanted, filmmaking. But sometimes it gets mixed up." The 68-year-old Milchan owns New Regency Films and has...
Translation, I oversaw Hollywood to ensure that Israeli interests were always protected in the fucking media. That's what he was really there for. Oh, you're about to make a movie talking about our nuclear program? Nah, bro, chill, man. I think you should go ahead and do this script instead. Like, come on, man. He was there as a spy to oversee all American media production and to ensure nothing ever hit the theaters that would expose Israel. Guys, this is bombshell evidence. Bombshell shit. Look, I would never self-delete. So if y'all see me go, gone in the next couple of weeks or whatever, this is, I would never self-delete, chat. All right? I would never off myself, chat. Because now I'm not even kidding around. Now we're getting into some serious shit here.
Yeah, man. So yeah, a lot of misinformation, man. Which a lot of people don't know really exactly. Have not looked into it. There's a great documentary by this guy named Jefferson Moley, I believe, where he breaks it down. I think
he spent years
Myron
as an Israeli
onto his podcast. So the whole thing was a joke, guys. he ordered, 80,000 pages of classified JFK files, but redacted all that shit that had to do with, America's greatest ally guys and the Meyer-Lansky connection and, Dimona. They didn't want to talk about the Dimona nuclear plants and the JFK requiring on-site inspections, and the Israelis didn't like that shit, so lot of fucking connections there. Man, and the reality of it is, like, to Myron's point, like, the people don't fucking care, bro. These people don't give a rat's ass. They're not gonna read a page out of those documents and see what a joke this shit was. And to be honest with you guys, people could sit there and bullshit and say that Trump, only the real ones are gonna speak out on it, right? But most people are gonna, most of these idiots that sit and watch, mainstream media and these Trump dick suckers, they're gonna buy it. Like, oh yeah, Trump did it, man. He released the JFK files. He released the Epstein files. Was a fucking joke, man. Holy shit. It was even worse than this shit. You know what I mean? And a lot of the people that were involved back in the day are trying to, like, conceal this information. They know it's already out there. They know the people that know about it, and they're kind of, their whole attitude's like, okay, what the fuck are you gonna do about it? You know what I mean? What are you gonna change? And so now their whole thing is, okay, we have to denazify the people coming up in the U.S. that are waking up to this shit. They claim it's denazifying, but it's really just people saying the facts, man. Like, why are you guys afraid of the fucking facts?
Appropriate. We are tomorrow announcing and giving all of the Kennedy files. So people have been waiting for decades for this, and I've instructed my people that are responsible, lots of different people, put together by Tulsi Gabbard, and that's going to be released tomorrow. We have a tremendous amount of paper. You've got a lot of reading. I don't believe we're going to redact anything. I said, just don't redact. You can't redact. But we're going to be releasing the JFK files, and that would be tomorrow. Do you have anything else to add to that, Carolyn? So that's a big announcement. They've been waiting for that for decades. Then I said during the campaign I'd do it, and I'm a man of my word. So tomorrow you have the JFK files. What time will they be released? Tomorrow afternoon. Okay.
Have you seen what's in the files? Have you read them?
I've heard about them.
Was there anything interesting?
It's going to be very interesting.
Was there an executive summary supplied to you, Mr. President?
No, I'm not doing summaries. You'll write your own summaries. It's many pages. Is it 80,000 pages? Approximately 80,000 pages. So it's a lot of stuff. And you'll make your own determination.
Where's the question about Epstein, Rob? Do you have that one?
Yes, that was over the course of the weekend. Here he is sitting down with Cheryl Atkinson.
Go for it.
A lot of intrigue surrounding the release of the Epstein files, Martin Luther King files, John F. Kennedy files. Some current and former FBI agents are saying, some of them telling me, that they feel the FBI establishment came out ahead in the standoff sort of with the New York FBI field office over releasing the records, and your Attorney General Pam Bondi demanding them but not getting all that she wanted. Is that process still on track? I think that's one of the most often questions I've been asked the last couple of days, to release these records on Epstein, MLK, and JFK.
Well, Pam Bondi's done a phenomenal job in every respect. And there could have been some holdback. I haven't heard too much about it, but they could. But the bottom line is the records are getting out. The Kennedy records are getting out. Those are the ones I really wanted to see the most, were the Kennedys. And during my administration, as you know, I released a lot of them, but then a lot of people started coming in, people that I respected, people that worked for the administration, asked me not to release the rest.
Mike Pompeo.
And I respected that. They gave me certain reasons, but I respected that. And I did say, I must tell you, I said that probably wish I did release the whole thing, because I have no idea what's in there. But since then they found, and we found, 2,000 more documents on Kennedy. And the one they want most is Kennedy, and it's going to be released. It's moving along, and it's moving along pretty rapidly. It doesn't go that
weeks
rapidly.
Maybe, or longer?
I say weeks. Yeah, I say weeks.
And what's the other one you got, Rob? What is press secretary?
The deputy press secretary was asked last night about the release of the files and if the American public would be shocked. Here's his response.
The American people will have their hands on these documents, and there will be a story to tell. I won't preview that story, but let me tell you, the American people are truly going to be shocked at what they see.
I'm asking you honestly, do any of you believe at this point that we are going to, like, anything that we're going to see? Because think about it, Tommy. If Mike Pompeo at the time was the acting director of the CIA, he was the one that was telling Trump, trust me, do not release this. What could possibly be the reason that the director of the CIA says, do not put this out? I know they always talk about national security. Why do you think, Tom?
Well, the speculation, the easy speculation, and it's not really speculation, the easy conclusion is, well, the establishment members of the CIA went to Mike, who was the director of the CIA at that time, and said, the credibility of everything that we're doing and all that we do around the world and in the United States to keep us safe. You may not like us, you may poke jokes at us, but we are out there, overthrowing governments, doing all these things in the name of democracy and keeping us safe. You can't let us be exposed like this for something that none of us that are here did 50, almost 60 years ago. He says, you can't do that, Mike. And Mike blinked and said, you're right, we won't do it. But now it's coming out. And what I think is going to come out, Roger Stone was posted on X last night about his book. And there's a lot of people that are on the same page that I am. I've stayed away from some of the fringe theories because LBJ plus CIA is so easy. Now let's see if we all find out. Let's see if we all find out. And that's really what it comes down to.
And let me ask you a question, Tom. Let's say we just find out, worst case scenario, Adam, they come out today, and in these documents, we find out that the CIA was involved, Lyndon B. Johnson, they all had a hand in murdering a sitting president. What happens?
Well, then we have a spot on our history, just like the kings and queens of Europe do, because every now and then you had a nephew knock off the king, and then his aunt, the queen, would be queen. And so murders of leaders that came from inside is nothing new. And I think there's been so much doubt and speculation from the American people. I think what most people are going to say is, that makes sense, and that's what a lot of people were saying. I'm glad we finally know. But there's no one to prosecute.
Yeah.
There's no one to put in jail.
Yeah.
They've all long since passed away. But I think what it says is, I'm glad my government finally released it. I think that's what you're going to get.
Okay, and I agree with that, but are you going to get angry American citizens that say that, so you mean to tell, everybody's dead, but the agencies, are you not, like our government murdered a sitting president, it doesn't get worse than that.
We're about to find out.
No, what I'm saying, but my thing is this, I don't think we're going to find out. I don't think any of those 80,000 documents, Pat, are going to say anybody was involved. This isn't.
Well, we're hours away.
I'll bet. Anybody want to make a friendly, I'll bet. There's nothing that you're going to find out that's new. You're not going to find out anything about the 9/11 documents. You're not going to find out anything about Jeffrey Epstein because the system will fail. But like I said with JFK, let justice be done, though the heavens fall. Everybody keeps worrying about, we can't let them know, like Pompeo's attitude. We have to know because that means everything that we've stacked, this house of cards.
All right, man. Holy shit, bro. This is just clown shit. Like, he's trying to make it, the king's nephew kills the king, and we have people internally. This wasn't an internal issue. This was an external force entity that was heavily involved in manipulating rogue elements in the CIA to commit an atrocity. Right. That's a stain on America's history, guys. And these people won't call it like it is, right? And you got people like this, like people that's sitting down dancing around the issue, right? Not calling it like it is. Like James Angleton was a big fucking huge supporter of you know who. And he was actually, I believe, a citizen. He served in the ID. Like the guy was full blown. So, again, they're going to run around the issue. There's some bad apples in the CIA. It happens. The king, sometimes his nephew gets over. This wasn't his nephew, bro. This was a fucking, like, the country next door. Imagine the country next door, like, pays the nephew to go and kill the king. Like, it was that type of shit, man. So, fuck out of here with dancing around the shit. He didn't release the juicy shit, right? And again, 99% of America won't ever read these documents or give a rat's ass, except for like nerds and shit and people who are into this whole, are really interested in the topic, you know. So, anyways, man, another L by the current administration, you know. And you notice Trump, like when he was talking about it, you could tell from body language and how he was. The guy was, you know, he was very uneasy because he knows this is life-threatening shit. You know, this is life-threatening, dethroning type behavior, right? Where he was, you know, like the guy was very uneasy talking about it, and I don't think if anyone even questioned him about it, he tries to, he kind of shrugs his shoulder, he gives a half-assed answer and keeps it moving, because he knows this is like some serious shit that, you know, could piss a lot of people off. So, anyways, man, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, man. Like, comment, subscribe.